Hello students. So let us look at the corrections to the questions they ask you to try for mensuration part 1. So the first question that we are dealing with over here is a rectangular field, right? It says the field is 70 meters and its length is 50 meters longer than the breadth. Okay, so the field is surrounded by a concrete path as shown. Then they ask us to find the area of the path. So to find the area of the path, what we need is to find the area of the larger rectangle, right, minus the area of the smaller rectangle. So it is actually a good habit to label everything properly, right? So we first of all, let's see what information we have. We know that the field is 70 and the length is 50 meters longer than its breadth, right? Sorry, the perimeter is 70. So what we need to do now is to figure out what is the length and breadth of the field. Okay, so what we can do, let me change my pen color. Let's use blue, right? So I'm going to start by saying let the breadth of field be, let's just call it x meters, right? So it means that this length over here is going to be x, okay? Therefore, the length of field equals, excuse me, x plus 15 meters. Okay, so notice I label everything, right? Give some context because this is a word problem. So it's a good habit to have all this. So once I establish the breadth and the length, okay, perimeter, okay, is equals to 70 meters. Now we also know that the perimeter is x plus 15 plus x plus 15 again, right? So this is equals to 70 meters. So from here, we just add them up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4x plus 30 equals to 70. 4x equals to 40. X equals to 10. Okay, so we found the value of 10. I mean the breadth, right? The breadth is 10 meters, right? So we can actually declare that. So let me just continue writing here. Therefore, breadth of field equals 10 meters and the length of field is going to be 10 plus 15, 25 meters. So this is the information we have about the field. Now we need to look at the entire area, okay, including the concrete path, right? So let's see. Therefore, the area, okay, of path equals, now the larger rectangle, right, is made out of the length and breadth. So we have in this case 25, right, plus 2.5 plus 2.5. Okay, so that will give me the entire length of the whole area. And then the breadth is going to be 10 plus 5 plus 5, right? And then we will actually need to subtract 10 times 25. Okay, so from here we simplify it. Let's take out the calculator. 25 plus 2.5 plus 2.5 is 30. So it's 30 by, let me write it properly, 20 minus 10 by 25. So 30 times 20 minus 10 times 25. And that gives us the result of 350 square meters. So that's how we can work out this first question. So let's move on to the second question. Exercise 12B, question 1. So over here we have a parallelogram and dimensions are shown, right? And we want to find, first of all, the perimeter followed by the area. So to find the perimeter, we just need to add up the outline, right? The length of outline. So 1 perimeter equals 10 plus 6, and we can just multiply this by 2, which will give us 32, and the units, don't forget the units, 32 centimeter. Now, as for the area, right, the area is going to be the base. In this case, we'll use 6 because the perpendicular height that we have is 9. So that will give us 54. Excuse me. And use the correct units. And the units here will be square centimeter. Okay, so just to test us on the basics of the parallelogram, we have another question. This time round, we have a trapezium. So for a trapezium, again, the dimensions are shown, and they want us to find the perimeter. So as with the parallelogram, there's no shortcut to it. So perimeter, we just need to add up all the sides, right? So the perimeter is equals to 20 plus 16 plus 18 plus 35.5. Okay, so take our calculator, add it up. It should be 89.5 centimeter. Now, as for the area, okay, if we have studied the notes, we will know that the area is equals to half, and then the two parallel sides, we add them up, 20 plus 35.5, right? Multiply by the perpendicular height, which is 15. So we work this one out. This will be 416.25 square centimeter. All right, there we go. Okay, so moving on. Now this time round, we have a three-dimensional object over here. It shows an empty hall with the shape. It's actually a prism, right? So without taking into consideration the thickness of the wall and the roof, we treat it as negotiable. Find the airspace inside the hall. So this is as good as asking for the volume. Okay, so to find the volume of a prism, what we need is the cross-sectional area, and then after that we multiply with the length, right? So how do we find the cross-sectional area? Well, what we need to notice is that the cross-sectional area is actually made out of a pair of trapezium. Okay, so maybe I can maybe highlight it for you. Maybe I should use purple, right? Can you see that actually this is a nice little trapezium over here, right? Okay, let me make the pen a bit thicker so it's more obvious. There we go, right? So we have actually this trapezium over here, and twice of it will give us a cross-section area, right? So with this, we can say that the cross-section area, right? Oops, let me reduce the thickness of my pen now. There we go. So the cross-section area is going to be 2 times the area of the trapezium. And the area of trapezium will be half times 23 plus 38, followed by the perpendicular height, which is 21, right? So that is whatever is inside the square bracket is actually area of the trapezium that I mark out in purple, and I multiply by 2, that will give us a cross-sectional area. So using our calculators, that will be 23 plus 38, 21. That gives us 1281 square meters, right? So finally, the airspace volume, right? This is actually the volume, is going to be 1281 multiplied by 80, right? So let's do that. We will have 102480 cubic meters. Okay, well, finally, the last question, we have this one that's quite interesting. Based on the first look at some of the work that's submitted by you, quite a number of you struggle with it. So let's try to understand this question, right? So we have a pipe of diameter 64 mm. discharge the water at the rate, okay, of the 2.05 mm per second, okay, into an empty cylinder. So the water is flowing, right? And the into a empty cylinder tank. So there's a tank, and then the tank has a diameter of 7.6 and a height of 2.3. So they want us to find the time it takes to actually fill up the tank, right? So what happened is we are going to first of all find out the amount of water, right, that's discharged for a certain period of time. Okay, so how do we do that, right? So what happened is if I take the water that's going through the pipe, okay, water that's coming out, the water pipe is actually cylinder in shape. So maybe I just do a quick sketch for you to see what's going on. This is the pipe, right? This is the pipe, and the water in, water out. Okay, so what happened is this is the area, and then in the same amount of area, the water will come out. So the water actually comes out, based on this area, and then after that there's a certain length to get the volume of water. So we do need to find out what is this area or this cross section first, right? And we know that this is actually, the diameter is 64 mm. So with this, let's find the area, right? So the area, okay, of pipe, cross section, no, I spell pipe properly. Area of pipe, cross section. This will be pi r squared. So the radius is actually half of 64, which is 32, right? 32 square. Okay, so we use our calculator. Is 1024 pi millimeter square. Okay. So what this means is that the amount of water that flows through, the speed at which the water actually flows through, will be this multiplied by the rate, right? So if the rate of water discharge is actually equals to 1024 pi times 2.05, right? So this one out times 2.05, and we get 2099.2 pi cubic millimeter per second. So for every second, this is the amount of water that comes out, right? That's what it means. Okay, so now that we know how much the water come out, let's find the volume of the tank so that we know how much water we need to collect. Okay, so let's move on. So let's see, volume of the tank is going to be pi r square h, right? But now my radius, okay, is 7.6 centimeter. Now 7.6 centimeter, I actually want it in millimeters because my water is calculated in millimeters. So 7.6 centimeter is actually 76 millimeter, right? So 76 millimeter. Let's go back, sorry. That is the diameter. We want the radius, right? So let's try again. So 7.6 is 76 divided by 2, that's 38. So this is 38 millimeter for the radius square. Now the height is 2.3 meters, right? So 2.3 meters is 230 centimeter, which is 2,300 millimeter. Okay, and this will give us, right, multiply by 38 square, give us 3321200. Now this is in millimeters cube. Okay, so that's the volume. Therefore, time taken will be equals to the volume 3321, sorry, I left out pi, 20 pi divided by 2099.2 pi, right? So you work this one out, divide by 2099.2, which will give us 1582.1 3. This will be in seconds. Now, the question wants it in minutes, so I need to divide by 60, which will give us 26.37 minutes. And then after that, the question says correct to the nearest minute. Therefore, it is equals to 26 minutes nearest minutes. Right? So I hope you have been successful. If not, do your corrections and let's learn from our corrections. Have a nice day.